Hello and welcome to Fit Life Radio, the place where you can learn a little bit more about how your body works and find new ways to improve your health. I'm your host Petio, and I hope to provide you with as much valuable information and inspire you to become a better version of yourself. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Petio back with another Fit Life Radio episode. I hope you're doing great. You're probably at this point kind of preparing. You're probably like decorating, and you are buying some gifts, and you're preparing for Christmas or from the upcoming holidays. If you're not, you still have time. Don't worry, it's all good. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Christmas because of all the consumption out there and all the materialistic oftentimes bullshit that people spend money for. But Christmas is actually a great family holiday. It's a great family gathering that I think we should appreciate. It's once a year. It's like everything is decorated. There are Christmas songs, Christmas TV shows, or whatever. It's the Christmas vibe. In most of the places, not most of the places actually, because like a few years ago I was in Australia, and at that time it's summer there, so well, but anyway, in some places it's snowing, so especially in Europe, in most of the places it might be snowing, so it's quite beautiful, it's quite nice, it's a Christmas vibe, but it's like, for me personally, it's like a family vibe where you gather around, you see people that maybe you haven't seen for a while. You see your family, you see your friends, you spend nice time with them, you cook and stuff. And speaking of cooking, um, you know, as we talked, like, food is quite a cultural thing, like there are a lot of traditional meals. Like, for example, me, I'm Bulgarian, and in Bulgaria we celebrate, actually, not Christmas but Christmas Eve, so 24th. And we have quite a lot of traditions, like we make homemade bread, we make there need to be vegetarian dish, which oftentimes we don't really follow that tradition, but there are certain types of like meals that we prepare, and my grandma just loves to prepare, and she doesn't make them like all the time. She just pretty much makes them around like the Christmas holidays. So um you know um oftentimes those holidays are obviously related to eating and enjoying certain types of food, and I think that's completely fine, and that's how it should be, because I mean, food is part of our culture, and we can't change it, and we shouldn't change it. It is what it is. It has to be this way. Like, for example, like, I recently learned that in some parts of France, like, there is a tradition that there has to be 13 desserts on the table. So you see, like, it's so bizarre, and it's so nice to see actually different cultures, how they have different traditions around food, and how they manipulate, or um, kind of use food as a way of celebrating, in a way. So I think it's completely fine to do that. However, the problem is, and this is why this podcast today is called "How to Survive the Holidays Without Gaining a Pound," because oftentimes we are so, like, caught up in our goals, we're so focused in this, and we actually spend that time being afraid that we're going to gain some weight, or we are oftentimes not being able to fully enjoy or fully kind of immerse ourselves in the into this vibe. So um, oftentimes, and like, I judge it with me, because um, I've been there, and I pretty much like to talk from experience. Like, I've been there, and I've been the asshole who complains that there is no enough protein, or there is very unhealthy food on the table, and oh, people do not eat a lot of salad, they mostly eat these carbohydrate meals and whatever, and they eat so much, or they drink so much alcohol and stuff. And I think a lot of times that comes from this fear that we have, that we are going to put a lot of weight, that we are going to overeat. And actually, I talked about that in the blog that I wrote a year ago. It's called "How to Survive the Post-Holiday Syndrome," which is basically when people think that they overate so much, and now they after the holidays they have to do something to compensate. So if you wanna check it out, you can go maybe after the holidays, or maybe even now, and you can actually see that you know how to approach it better and healthier. But um, you know my point here is that in fact we are afraid that we are going to gain a lot of weight during the holidays, but in fact, how much did we really overeat? Like, the thing is, yes, it is true that the law of thermodynamics works. So if you eat more, you're going to gain weight more. But that happens over time, that doesn't happen overnight. So how long are the holiday period for? It's like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 1 week. If you eat on the surplus only 1 week, nothing really is gonna happen. And in fact, how much, like, we think that we overconsume like 1,000 calories, but in fact that's not really true, guys. And I tell you what, it's so hard to overconsume that much. mm, like, because our body pretty much knows its balance, its homeostasis. So we end up usually um, like like the brain likes to keep us balanced, like in a homeostasis. So usually we end up eating the same amount of food, plus minus a bit. But like, if everything is the same every single day, we pretty much end up eating the same amount of food. And we know when we are hungry, when we're not hungry. There are certain factors that can change that, but typically we just eat the same amount of food, right? um, on average. So yes, during the holidays we might eat a bit more, but I really doubt that we are going to eat 1,000 calorie plus every single day, because it's so hard. Yes, of course we're going to try different desserts. Of course we're going to enjoy some alcohol and stuff. But like, for how long? For 2, 3, for 5 days? We're going to eat 200, 400, 500 more calories every day, and um, do we really are we really going to actually reach that you know that much calories? Because how many times it happens that after a huge dinner, the day after, you don't feel like you have having breakfast, you don't feel like having lunch, or like you straight away have something small for lunch and you're cool, because your brain knows that you overate. Your brain knows that you had a lot of calories last night, and your brain knows that you don't need much, and you feel heavy, you don't want to have breakfast, because your brain says, no, we don't need that much. So yes, we might overconsume, but I don't think we should be stressing that much, because I don't think we are actually going to overconsume that much. um, that's not really going to change anything, because like I said, if I back to the analogy of, like, the brushing the teeth, for example. If we brush our teeth for 1 week throughout the for only 1 week, in like the whole year, our teeth are not gonna be healthy, right? And the same, if we end up not brushing our teeth only for 1 week from the whole year, still nothing much gonna happen. So it's the same, if we pretty much all the time eat properly, and we know what we eat, and we know how much we eat, and we have good relationship with it. If we just have like 1 week eating on a surplus and enjoying food, nothing's gonna happen, honestly. Like, it's not gonna be a problem. And speaking of enjoying the food, I think it's highly important to mention here that um, you know it's more important to actually enjoy the time with friends and family than to worry about gaining weight. And I mentioned in the beginning of this episode how I've been that asshole who is complaining about eating too much, or complaining that, people are eating too much and how they can eat that much and why they eat that much. And, that's pretty much triggered just some sort of conflict in my family and some sort of tension. Because the reality is that it doesn't fucking matter. Like, the reality is that it's far more important throughout those time to connect and to have good time with your family and friends, rather than like being concerned about food. Because there was one study, I don't remember, like, who did it, and I can't, maybe if I find it I can link it in the description. But basically the study said that having one bad relationship in your life equals like, it's as bad to your health as if you smoke 15 cigarettes a day. So like, having one bad relationship with one of your close friends or family is going to be as bad for your health as if you smoke almost a pack of cigarettes a day. Like, it's like, it's not nice, It's like, it's not worth like getting into some sort of conflict or fight with your family because of food, or because you think that you might be you know overeat or whatever. It's like, finally, like, if you're that health fanatic, relationships matter as well. I told you, like, I was that asshole. I was refusing to eat my grandma's pastry. You know, I was like, nothing looked on the table like a bodybuilding meal or whatever. Like, nothing looked like clean or whatever. Everything looked like a little bit more oily or fatty, or a lot of carbs and stuff like that. So, you know, it just triggered more tension. Like, my grandma spent the entire day making that dessert, and she makes it only once a year. And like, approaching the time that she was making that dessert, she was probably super excited and thinking about it. And then, while making this dessert, she was making it with such a you know she was like, she was having a purpose. She was doing it with um, basically coming from the heart, with such a desire to make us, like, her children and grandchildren, happy. And then, here comes the, like, Petio, the bodybuilder, the pseudo bodybuilder asshole, who complains and is like, no, like, this is too much sugar, and this is shit for my health, and this is not good anyway, nobody should eat it anyway. And like, I don't know why you spend that much time making it, like, I'm not even gonna try it. Like, yes, I might not get uh, you know negative effects from having a little bit of sugar, but how much more negative effects I'm gonna get from, saying such a thing to my grandma, saying such a thing to my family, like, being moody and not being able to spend a good time with my family, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not cool to do it, it's not cool for the people, and it's not good for you as well, because the ultimate goal is to spend nice time with those people. And if that means that you should allow yourself to eat some more food, then be it. If that means that, if spending nice time means that you should get like a few glasses of wine, why not? If that means that you should get some, I don't know, try some cakes or desserts, why not? Like, it's you know getting, like, over stressing about food and eating, it's not going to help you much with the connection around your family. And like I said, I'm gonna repeat myself, and but I want to stress it as much. It's like, it's highly important to have a good friend with your friends and family. And oftentimes that happens with food. So if we caught on ourselves in this belief that, we should be all the time eating healthy, and like, which, by the way, it doesn't mean that we're not eating healthy. It just means that we enjoy a little bit of foods that are not maybe ideal, but like, who cares? It's just once or twice, it's not all the time. So it's not a problem. We're gonna get far more benefits from enjoying those foods and having good time with the people that we love, then you know if we start refusing and complaining about it. Now, of course, I want to mention here that it's important to be mindful, like by enjoying everything. I don't mean like eating foods that are not going to be to work great for your body. Like, in other words, for instance, like if you're allergic to peanuts, you're not gonna eat peanuts in Christmas just because everybody eats peanuts. It's like, obviously that's not great for your body and that's gonna make you suffer. So I don't mean like you know enjoying it this much, but I mean, like, if you want to enjoy a bit of alcohol, like, enjoy a bit of alcohol. It's like, if my grandma made that dessert and there is like milk in that dessert or dairy, and I happen to be dairy intolerant, and I happen to get maybe diarrhea for 2 days straight if I eat dairy, well, I'm gonna explain to my grandma that, look, I appreciate it, but just if I have it, it's gonna make me feel super bad, and this is gonna prevent me from eating anything else for next 2 days. This is gonna prevent me from enjoying the next 2 days with you. So I rather avoid it because of this, and those reasons, you know. But if, like, I'm gonna avoid it for for the reason of oh, it's too much sugar, so that's gonna make me gain fat. Like, it's just it's bullshit, Okay, okay. So, like, my point was here, like, be mindful. Of course, if it's something that's really gonna make you super, it's gonna make you super unhealthy because you can't tolerate it. Like, obviously, don't have it, but if it's something that you can tolerate but just gonna make you maybe a bit heavy, or whatever, just, like, enjoy it. That's it. So there's no point, like I said, to create tension because of some stupid stuff like that, And speaking of this stuff, like, I've also been the type of person who abuse exercises around the holidays because I had years where I felt like I'm not supposed to eat that much, and I should be the asshole of avoiding everything. And I also had time where I said, okay, I'm gonna enjoy everything possible, I'm gonna eat like an asshole, but I'm gonna compensate for the extra calories with workout. So I end up working out a little bit more the day before, or maybe the day, like, like the day of the gathering, or even the day after. And I end up over training, which is not very great, of course. uh, and as we know, overtraining is not great because overtraining is gonna make you even more stressed, and being more stressed means that you're, like, everything else slows down, and your body is healing rather than adapting. So basically, yes, I burn maybe some more calories, but that didn't really make me very, very well. And also, it's kind of like a psychological thing, because we often think that we should burn more calories. And guess what? So if I go and practice some mobility exercises, I might not even sweat, and I might think like, oh well, I didn't actually work out that much. But if I go and do cardio, which, by the way, is proven that burns the most amount of calories, and I want to be very careful here, and I highly encourage you to go and read the blog, uh, The Truth About Cardio, because I explain, even though it's proven to burn the most amount of calories, it's actually the worst form of training when it comes to burning fats and losing weight. So I want to be careful with that. But we might think that, oh, I do need to burn more calories, so cardio is actually the best way because I need to feel like I want to sweat. Well, what happens is that we slow down the metabolism even more, and we just like we end up even more stressed. So these type of trainings are not very ideal, and it might actually contribute to more fat, to more weight gain, and to, less time enjoying with their friends and family, because we're like, oh, I need to go to the gym and burn the calories that I ate. Like, no, bro, like those 2 days that you ate a bit more are not gonna change anything, and you don't need to go and hammer yourself in the gym or somewhere because you felt guilty about it. You just should be mindful and, like, just move, like if you feel like you want to move, just go out for a walk, like be active, be involved in, like, maybe in a lot of places, like I said, it's snow, there's snow, so go outside and walk around the forest or walk around in the snow. It's super beautiful, like, just enjoy the time being outside, be involved in maybe like a snowball fight, or maybe make a snowman or whatever. Just like, if you really want to be active, like be active like that. Maybe, if you're in a place where you there like a ski and stuff, you can go and, practice skiing or snowboarding or stuff like that. But like, don't just go and exercise because you feel like you need to burn so much calories. Like, it's it's a stupid way of approaching exercises. It's like you're going to not do a service to yourself, but you're going to want to punish yourself with exercises, and that's not ideal. you know like, of course, I'm not saying forget about training, because, like, look, for me, uh I don't go to the gym because I need to punish myself, or because, like, I'm so obsessed with the way I look. I go to the gym because I just like it. I just like to practice those exercises. That makes me happy. It makes me more mindful. It makes me more present. Um, and, of course, during, because, like, actually next week I'm going to see my family back in Bulgaria for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna be there for 2 weeks, and, of course I'm gonna be training. Of course I'm gonna go to the gym. Of course I might go. I'm gonna try to go to climb, to bouldering. Of course I might go, outside for a run with my friend or whatever. But I'm not gonna do it to compensate for the food that I'm gonna be eating. I'm not gonna do it because I will be supposed to train or whatever. I'm gonna do it because I simply like it, because it makes me happy. It just like, if someone smokes cigarette because they like it and they're addicted to it and they need to have it in their life to be, you know, to feel good. Well, I need to have training in my life in order for me to feel good and to, make me happy. So I I am gonna do it, but I'm gonna, you know, like, acknowledge that, I might not feel at my best. I might, be over consuming a little bit of calories. I might be, feeling a bit, not perfect because maybe I had a bit of alcohol, and that's completely fine. So I'm gonna practice. I'm not gonna push myself. I'm gonna practice. Maybe I'm gonna do mobility. Maybe I'm just gonna practice one or two exercises with a little to no weight, just to, keep that, fluids throughout the body moving around and stuff. But, like, my point here is that don't use exercises as a compensation for the calories. Don't use exercises, and, like, it's not only throughout the holidays, but especially in the holidays. Like, I notice, at least with myself, that I have a tendency to do it, and, like, I learned to manage myself, kind of this. It's like I taught myself to, you know, to like to step a little bit further from those beliefs and to actually really assess the situation, because nothing's gonna happen. Like, if it's something that you really enjoy and you like to do, and maybe you connect with a friend like that or whatever, 100% go. But if you are gonna use exercises to compensate or to punish yourself for the food you ate, maybe try to limit yourself, or purposely, like, forbid yourself to train around those times, and it's gonna be way, way better. Now now, speaking about exercises or fat loss or muscle gain, like, I didn't really want this podcast to be about it, but it wouldn't be me, actually, if I don't give you some tips, for um, healthy approach of food, or in general in your time, like around the holidays. Like, I'm not gonna give you like some tips like you should be eating this and you should be eating that because this is gonna help you lose fats or whatever. No, like I will give you some tips um, for maximizing your time there around your holidays. So the first one is actually eat more protein, or eat your protein first. Excuse me. Now, why is that? Well, if you are still so concerned about over consuming, usually we over consume mostly carbs because carbs are not that satiating, carbs are not gonna make us full, and even if we overeat with carbs, after 2 hours we would want to eat again. So, um, tip number one is to eat the protein first because protein oftentimes comes with fats. And as we know, proteins and fats are the macronutrients which are the most important for our body. So making sure that we eat the protein and fats first is number one, going to ensure that we are still getting all the nutrients which our body requires in order to function at its best. And second, we are not gonna like feel that much hungry, so like instead of eating 3 pieces of my grandma dessert, I might just have one, and it will be enough because I will feel full already, but I will just want to try it. So, if I'm not if I'm not full and I'm hungry, I will try it and I will eat 3 of the pieces because it's so nice. But if I'm full already, I will just enjoy one piece, and this is gonna help me not overeat, but also ensure that I'm having all the nutrients I need. Because if I first attack the carbs, I might continue eating more and more carbs, which are very palatable as well and they're very tasty, but I might end up kind of like not consuming enough protein and fats, which is not a big deal, but it's just a cool easy tip that we can incorporate in general, not only in like around the holidays, but like it just works great because like eating it first just helps you not overeat that much, and it helps you actually enjoy the food rather than stuff yourself with it. Helps you be a bit more present. And tip number two is actually to eat your veggies second, because check this out. Um, we all know why vegetables are important, right? They're important for digestion, they're important for excretion, they're important for, overall gut health. Why gut health is important? Well, it can play a huge role in the way we feel the next day. So, like, if we have few days in a row where we don't eat much vegetables, we might feel a little bit bloated. We might feel like having hard time, going to the toilet, or we might feel heavy. We might feel more, with lack of energy. And check this out. We are also for sure going to have some alcohol, right? Well, I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later in the next actually tip, but healthy gut is going to make sure that you are, processing alcohol faster. And processing alcohol faster means that your alcohol is gonna leave your system faster, and you're gonna have less of the bad effects of the alcohol the day after. So, actually eating your protein first important for those stuff, but then having your veggies second is gonna make sure that just your body has all the stuff that it needs in order to be healthy. And being like, we all know that the alcohol, for example, is not great, or over consuming is not great for us, but if our body is healthy, those stuff that might create a little bit of discomfort are going to be far more easy to be overcome, rather than if our body is unhealthy, we don't have anything good in our system. It's gonna just make it harder for us to process all the stuff. And speaking of processing, the third tip, guys, is drinking more water. Now, I know it's extremely, I know, kind of not extremely, but it kind of sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. um, as we immerse ourselves in like eating and drinking, oftentimes we forget just simply drinking water. And we all know about the importance of being sufficiently hydrated, or actually the detriments of being, you know, dehydrated, like lack of energy, you know, like more pain, more inflammation. And guess also what? Having more water is going to help you detoxify easier. So alcohol is a toxin, or look at it as a toxin, and having more water is going to help you remove that alcohol faster, or that toxin faster. So getting more water simply is going to first help you be hydrated, because oftentimes if we just enjoy some alcohol or enjoy some fruit juices or whatever, we're not actually going to get as much water, because it just simply, we can't, like, we do need to make a little bit of effort doing it, but making sure that we are hydrated is going to just simply help us feel better, have more energy, and therefore, of course, spend better time with friends and family. But also, it might help us, get rid of the alcohol faster, and therefore, the day after drinking, we might feel a bit better, because eating and drinking quite a lot the night before, it might prevent you from enjoying the day after. And usually for us in Bulgaria, like the Christmas, it's the bank holiday. The Christmas is the time when people spend time together. They go out, they go for a walk, they enjoy the time together. They don't just sleep all day, because it's not nice to sleep all day when you can spend nice time with your family and friends, right? So, you know, it's kind of a good way to, in my way, to make sure that, getting a glass of water before and after a meal, it's not gonna hurt anyone. It's just gonna help you being a bit better. And I think it's an easy thing to do. I think it's something that we should do anyway. But like I think it's something quite good and important to pay attention during the holidays, because, like I said, too much of anything is not nice. And just water in general, like, since we're 80% water guys, and everything, like most of the functions in our body are dependent on water, having more of it, it's not gonna hurt. So the last thing I want to touch on today, and it's like we are towards the end, like, it's about um, it's always about health, and it's never about appearance. It's more like a summary of what I've talked. But you know, Fit Life Blueprints, guys, has never been, and it will never be about appearance. It will never be about aesthetics. It will never be about, like, you will never hear me saying eat this food or eat this way in order to look the greatest or whatever. Like, our first and most important goal is to feel good, is to, you know, be healthy, and be, to thrive, to feel good, to feel great. Because we might look great like a bodybuilder, but then not being able to enjoy the time with our family, not being able to enjoy some food, you know, judging ourselves, hating ourselves, punishing ourselves with stuff, feeling guilty about ourselves, punishing ourselves with exercises. It's not a very healthy approach. Yes, of course, if there is like a competition or something that you need to attempt, it's like if there is something that really prevents you from it, like, make sure you explain it to your family and they will understand. But like, I'm trying to talk to the general population, to the people like me, like everyone else, who just wants to feel good, to feel healthy. They go to the gym, they enjoy working out, they enjoy eating healthy because it makes them feel great. But like, don't become a fanatic, because being a fanatic about health is actually not health. So, like, health must be always the priority, to if we want to truly thrive. And health does not mean restricting. It does not mean over consuming either. It doesn't mean to be inactive and to not move, but it doesn't mean to punish ourselves with exercises either. You know, like health is like all those stuff combined together. It's like the positive behaviors around everything. It's like, when it's time to enjoy, we should enjoy. When it's time to make sure that our body is great, we should do that. Like we should find balance around it. And I think the pursuit of that, it's the key, because like practicing all those behaviors, I think, is the key. Because like I think there is like a viral something now in TikTok or whatever, and I see it everywhere, where there's one guy, he's saying, practice makes what? And people say perfect. Well, no, practice does not make perfect. Practice makes improvement. Practice makes, there's no such thing as perfection. Practice helps you just be better than yesterday. And it's true. Practicing all those behaviors every day is not gonna make you 100% perfect. Nobody's perfect. Like practice is gonna make you better with your choices. Practice is gonna, practicing healthy behaviors and healthy relationships with food, with friends, with exercise, with everything, is just going to make you better person. Not perfect, but better person. So it's important to, health is just far more important than appearance. And I think it's important to just take care first of the health, and then appearance is just gonna come as a byproduct, or like a side effect. So anyway, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode, for not watching, excuse me. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I wish you a great time. I wish you to enjoy as much as possible, with your friends, with your family, with whoever you're about to celebrate. Just be mindful, be present, enjoy it. This is all the purpose of life, right? So smile, enjoy, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I will see you next year. Bye. Thank you for tuning to Fit Life Radio. I hope you learned something useful, or at least had a bit of color to your commute. If you enjoyed the show, please share the love by introducing it to friends and family. And if you don't mind, please leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Thank you for your support, and until next time, stay fit.